Hello friends, I am looking absolutely demented today because it is a very hot day and I am puttering in the new place. We've been here for about 3 weeks and it's still utter chaos, but I thought I would give a peek at some select corners of the home. So here we go. So let's pretend you're coming for a visit. Here's the front door. And then we have the parlor, and our AC is pretty loud. So you're gonna hear what sounds like a helicopter in the background. And it's still a work in progress, and there's a huge console in the middle of the room. But as opposed to the last parlor and the last house, this one has no art on the walls at present, but we will be changing that. Another bookshelf. The place started really feeling like home when we got the books in the bookshelves. These kind of ratty lace curtains came with the place, but I think you'll have to remove them over my dead body because I absolutely love them. And we've got Jesus and Mary watching over the plants. These are, I think, rubber statues that my mother got from the Fingerhut catalog a million years ago, and I can't let go of them. And then we have the dining room, and there's a bunch of stuff on the table that I haven't figured out where to put it yet. And several boxes of booze in the corner, and not much else. And a rocking chair that's been in my family for a long time, and Yvonne has sanded it down and is refinishing it. This too is a work in progress. Here's our retro little kitchen with its yellow counters and its weird stove, and I am making some farro to make a wheat berry salad, but I haven't got any wheat berries, so farro it is. Anyway, there's our our stove, and there's our oven all the way over there. And this is actually a little eat-in kitchen. And there's our tiny IKEA table with our Starbucks vase of roses. The kitchen is what we're calling the TV room. There's this big built-in shelf on this wall here. And we've got the TV right in the middle. And we're starting to fill in some other things. And this is an IKEA couch that Yvonne has had for a gazillion years, and we recently just found new coverings for it, so it looks a lot better. This is going to be the Transylvanian Tiki room. We've got the Tiki shelf in place. And we haven't quite figured out the Transylvanian part of it, but we'll get there. And there's Matt Berry. So we've got a little fireplace, which it's the 1st of May and it's very warm and I can't imagine wanting a fire, but we've got it. And this is a painting that Yvonne's mother made for us after we got married, and she presented it to us when we moved into the new house. I guess that's Yvonne, and that's me, and there's a malicious little fairy. No, I think she's meant to be mischievous. And there's a little key on a little dangling heart, and this is adorable. This is my favorite thing. So that takes us back around to the front door, but then we've got a whole separate wing with a long, creepy hallway. On the left here is my office. It came with a great built-in shelf, and this is probably the first thing I tinkered around with. Those who have seen photos of the old place were probably a bit horrified of all the knickknacks and shelf turds that I had on my bookshelf. So these are a little bit more streamlined, I'd like to think. Yvonne and I switched desks. I've got a lot more room to work with now. And of course, when you've got more room, then you have more mess. By the way, at Black Phoenix Alchemy Lab, snake oil is back in stock. So I bought another bottle, even though I've got about 4. But, I hoard things when they're hard to find. And they've now got snake oil hair gloss. So you should grab it while they've still got it. Over here, I've got the poetry and perfume shelf. I guess I should turn on a light in here. There we go. That's a little better. On top of the shelf are all my perfume samples, which, if you're a very orderly person, this is probably a nightmare for you. I just like to kind of pick one at random and let my stink set the course for my day. It's perfumeomancy, or a stinkomancy, or, scented divination or something like that. I don't know. This is going to be a gallery wall. My best good friend was meant to visit me this weekend, or this next weekend, but unfortunately their trip got waylaid. So they won't really be here again until July, at which point maybe they'll help me organize this art in some way, but maybe I will have gotten tired of this jumble and done it myself. At any rate, this is one of my favorite corners of the home. Sorry, again, if this doesn't, or if this makes you very uncomfortable. I know a lot of people do not like dolls, but I think they're amazing, especially this one. She loves you very much. And then on the next shelf, we have a lot of ghost stories and so on. And on the next shelf is my collection of Time Life Enchanted World books. And if you're thinking, Sarah, I thought this was meant to be a new house tour. Well, these are the only portions of the house that aren't completely insane. So this is what you get. This bedroom is ridiculous. We're in the process of selling our old house. And after going back there and then seeing this bedroom, I'm like, how could we have lived in that tiny, tiny little space? This bedroom is maybe twice the size. So I've got my B-Pal set up here and a lot of jewelry. Above my bed at the old place, I had a sort of sleep or dream altar, and I've moved it to my bedstand here. And then there's some more jewelry. And of course, the perfume cabinet, which is missing a few of the bits that I had in the previous perfume cabinet. But this is after the books. Actually, this was set up before the books. I think it was the perfume that made it feel more like home. And then the books. And the master bath, which is a bit of a mess. There's the bidet that we need to install. And our William Morris shower curtains, which I quite love. What I do not love is that there is no curtain on this window, but we have a pretty private backyard, so hopefully I'm not stepping out of the shower naked in front of people, but I don't really know. And then across the hall, we have our guest room, which is currently being used for storage, although we do have a mattress and an IKEA bed frame. So we do plan on getting this ready for people to stay with us at some point. But for now, we're going to slowly back out of here and pretend like we did not see any of it. So back in the TV room, we have a door to a screened-in porch where there is more boxes. There are more boxes, rather. And so I've been trying to avoid this area as well because it stresses me out. But it is a pretty nice yard. We've got several of the plants from our old front porch. And we've got this little area here that goes by the walkway around the screen room. Oof, that AC unit is really loud. St. Francis came with the place. We added Godzilla and the bunnies. And there's a stone walkway and a bench and some hibiscus. More hibiscus by the bench. And an enormous jungle gym. Don't think I'm supposed to be on these swings, but they seem to be holding my weight. Okay, I had to come back into the kitchen to show you what I was making, which is one of my favorite summer salads. So this is the wheat berry salad from Heidi Swanson's Supernatural Cooking book. And as I already mentioned, this is farro, not wheat berries, but it's what I could find. And you might be thinking, Sarah, that looks like an obscene amount of feta cheese, and I would just tell you to hush your mouth. So this is wheat berries and feta cheese and spinach and toasted pine nuts. And it's got a dressing of olive oil, lemon zest and lemon juice, and then orange zest and orange juice, and shallots, and seasoned with salt and pepper. And it is amazing. I have been eating this every summer for over a decade, but it's just one of those things that I think it's mostly good for you, and it tastes good. And you want to steal little bites every time you walk by your refrigerator. I will share the book that I get this from. This is Heidi Swanson's Supernatural Cooking. This is not that recipe, but this is the other recipe that I make all the time over this course of the summer. This is a soba noodle salad, and as you can tell by how crusty it is, it gets used often. Anyway, it's in this book somewhere. Ah, here it is. And a few people have posted this recipe on the internet. So, hey, it looks like she's got a lot of feta too. So another thing, before I sign off, we've been here for about 3 weeks. We moved a little bit north from where we were at in Florida. Now we're closer to the water and closer to a lot of stuff in general. For example, today we went out to a wonderful barbecue and beer garden place. We found our new Asian grocery store. We went to a Sprouts, and we found a really cool nursery about 5 minutes away from our house. We didn't have any of that where we were at before. We were kind of in the boonies. Hopefully by the next time I have a little video going up, I will have more of this house together. Maybe I'll have some art on the walls. It'll make me feel better, even if it does nothing for the content of these videos. And maybe I'll actually have something of substance to say. And until that time, I hope you all stay well. And till later, weirdos.